Well, listen up, folks. We all understand that Canelo Alvarez is the 4th division world champion, super middleweight undisputed. We understand that he's the cash cow of the sport of boxing. We understand that Canelo Alvarez is the king, el rey de boxeo. But we cannot ignore that the king have duties. The king has responsibilities. What are those responsibilities and what are those duties of Canelo Alvarez if he is king? To rule the kingdom, in which he has done a 168-pound division. To lead, to conquer, to stabilize the sport of boxing. Not only the 168-pound division, because if we're going to keep on calling Canelo Alvarez King Nelo, a.k.a. Cartelo, a.k.a. Cash Nelo, a.k.a. Payday, a.k.a. get the fuck out of here, man. He has responsibility. We got to hold him to his responsibilities. And ladies and gentlemen, as much as a lot of people in the sport of boxing say, well, Canelo Alvarez, he did what he had to do. He could do whatever he wants. He paid his dues and things of that nature. You still have to lead. You still have to set the tone. You are the bar. And sorry, folks, we just can't have Canelo Alvarez fighting just, 147 pounds in Bud Crawford? No, that's not fit to be king. That's not fit to be king. You know what I'm saying? You got to rule. Hey, yo, if there's somebody, if there's another potential king, but right now it's weak because they don't got nothing too much, there might be David Benavidez, a potential king. A real king back in the ancient times in Europe, man, he'll go out there and you know what? You'll conquer that. Canelo Alvarez needs to always set the tone. Let me tell you about a couple of past kings in the sport of boxing. Mike Tyson fought everybody when he was a king. If you look at Mike Tyson 1988, 1987, you look at the pound for pound in the heavyweight division, and then look at his resume. Oscar de la Hoya. Now, one time the boxing fans needed to ask and beg Oscar de la Hoya, fight the best, fight the best. He fought everybody. Win, lose, or draw, Oscar de la Hoya did not cheat the fans. The people did not question Oscar de la Hoya, unless that when Oscar de la Hoya, after he retired, he was wearing the Victoria's Secret garment. But we're talking about boxing now. Canelo Alvarez, as much as I understand that David Benavidez really, Canelo Alvarez fights David Benavidez and beat David Benavidez. I understand that what is David Benavidez offering Canelo Alvarez in enhancing his legacy? Really nothing, but you have everything. But if you have everything and you're going to stay in that chair, you're going to stay in that throne, you're going to have to keep on going by your duties. You have responsibilities. You have to give your loyal subjects, the peasants, the people, your kingdom, what they want, what they deserve, what the boxing world needs, because if you're the king of boxing, it's just not about the division. It's just not about you, Canelo Alvarez. It's about the sport of boxing. You have responsibility. The kingdom is boxing. You're the king. You have responsibility to set the tone. If you don't set the tone, then everybody's going to be in ambiguity. Everybody going to do what you're doing. Let me fight this other guy that really doesn't deserve it. Let me fight this guy that I know I'm going to beat. Canelo Alvarez, we're going to call you a king. You got to be king-like. You got to be king-like. I like Canelo Alvarez. I like him to be the king in the sport of boxing because I feel like he has done those type of duties. I rely on Canelo Alvarez. We depend on Canelo Alvarez. As a matter of fact, Canelo Alvarez is one of those guys of this era that he's matched the expectations or probably exceed the expectations. And maybe a lot of people in the sport of boxing haven't done so, nothing quite like Canelo Alvarez, that maybe we just lost the interest of, or we don't have no expectations from them, and probably we're putting everything on Canelo Alvarez's shoulder. And Canelo Alvarez said, oh man, let everybody else do this. And I understood that a year ago. maybe a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. But then I have to say, if you are a king, I don't depend on David Benavidez to fight everybody. Even though I would like him to play his part. But we're not calling David Benavidez king. We're not calling Bivol king. We're not calling Andre king. We're not calling Charlo king. We're calling Canelo Alvarez king. And you have the duty. If they ain't gonna do it, you gotta do it. Not to save just your division, not just for your legacy, but for the sport of boxing. And that's what something that Oscar De La Hoya did. Oscar De La Hoya did not have to face Floyd Mayweather. Remember, at the time, he didn't have to face Floyd Mayweather. Oscar De La Hoya didn't have to face Manny Pacquiao. Oscar De La Hoya didn't have to face Bernard Hopkins. Matter of fact, Floyd Mayweather did not have to fight Canelo Alvarez. And that aged well. You remember the movie Lion King? Huh? It's the circle of life. Canelo Alvarez is not going to be here for a long time. Somebody else is going to have to rule. We don't know if it's going to be one of these youngsters. We don't know if the next is going to be T.O. We don't know if the next is going to be Inoue. We don't know if the next is going to be Virgil Ortiz. We don't know. We don't know. But what we do know now is that we do have a set king. And as of right now, the kingdom is looking like when Scar was the king. You remember the movie Lion King? I know you got kids, damn it. You remember when Mufasa died and Simba ran away and Scar took over with the hyenas? Huh? You remember? And the land was all dried up. No food, remember? Remember the wife of Mufasa was telling there's no more food, Scar. The land is dried up. There's a desert, there's no water. That's boxing right now. And the only one that's eating is Canelo Alvarez and his hyenas. Canelo, right at this moment, you're doing the best for you. But as a king, you're responsible for where boxing is at. As much as I credit Canelo Alvarez for doing so much, if he's the king, the cash cow, the top dog, he got responsibility for boxing. So I'm going to say it like this. I'm going to put it on Canelo because I'm calling him king. We just can't be calling people king and they could do the same thing that everybody else is doing. For a king, it's unacceptable to fight right now Charlo, Crawford. You need to fight David Benavidez. You might have to fight Jaime Munguia because he earned his spot at 168-pound division. If you got the crown and you got the throne, and this is the kingdom, you got to lead by example. And as much as you don't want everything on your shoulders, you want other people to do things, you're the king. The king don't ask for nothing. You rule, you lead, you get the ultimate respect. If boxing is dying, if the kingdom is dying, who do we blame? Oh my God, boxing is dying, boxing is not what it used to be, who do we blame? Because let me tell you like this. Look back when Mike Tyson was the king of boxing. Tell me all these divisions. Was it as stacked? But Mike Tyson had boxing on his shoulder. And wherever boxing goes, Mike Tyson goes, boxing goes. Remember, there used to be a saying that wherever the heavyweight goes, boxing goes. But because, of course, the heavyweight guys used to be the guy. Used to be the one that lead. But boxing's not like that no more. So now wherever Canelo goes, boxing goes. If you fight another fighter that's not supposed to be in the ring with you at this time, if boxing is failing, I'm sorry to say, the responsibility and the prime responsibility lands on Canelo. I'm sorry. And I love Canelo, but he got to take it just like everybody else. Just like LeBron James has to take it in the NBA. Just like Tom Brady had to take it in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? It's just like Tiger Woods in golf. Canelo is boxing. So if boxing is failing, we got to put it on Canelo. When Canelo is blind, if he puts up David Benavidez, that's the primary fighter in the sport of boxing. So put it up. That's Canelo Alvarez's responsibility. He got the power. That's it. It is what it is. We got to keep the same energy. I love Canelo Alvarez, but he's the king. You got to act like one. He got responsibilities and duties. Let's go, Canelo. You could do it. You got the balls. You got the cojones. You are the man. The resume speaks for itself. You ain't scared of nobody. You're the king. Keep on leading.